Hello, and welcome to my ITSL game versus Marc Nuño, who I will be facing as VUSSR. And I don't think I've played this person before, so this will be our first contact, I suppose. And this is a pretty tricky hand. So it can potentially lead to some great stuff with Vietnam and duck and cover. However, it has pretty low ops, and some of those ops are really blue. So this hand is, well, kind of vulnerable to defectors, first of all, because Vietnam is the only good event, and secondly to Purge, which would hurt a lot, because since I don't have many good events, I'm kind of forced to play my cards for ups. So this hand can be great or terrible, basically depending on what he headlines. So let's hope it's not Defectors or Purge. I don't have a choice but to go Vietnam. Okay, this is really sad. Interesting start with Greece and Italy. I think regardless I will still try to QI run with duck. And this is terrible. Alright. So now this hand is looking really bad. I will probably try to space Norat/Marshall and hold the other one. Reds and Special will have to be played. The sooner I play Reds, the lesser the chance that he will play something like Romanian Abdication or Comecon even, forcing me to give him something for this. Annoying. I have been experiencing some serious bad luck lately, I feel. The exception, a major one, being games against Alexei Lubunka, who I managed to defeat in the ITSL Stalin Division relegation playoffs. So this looks, at least so far, like a continuation of this trend. However, I'm playing Alexei tomorrow probably, so maybe I can get back on the right track after this game. Nuclear test ban. Pretty solid. Really? Yeah, right. It's going basically as good as expected. Looks like Europe scoring. Not necessarily, but probably. I think I will go to space in this case. Let's go for Norat. Of course, now I roll a4, so that doesn't work. Europe, I suppose. Maybe not. In that case, special will be annoying. This, wait, seriously? Holy shit! Okay, it's sure. It's just another one of those games. What's What's infuriating is that I've had a lot of those in the recent time, but don't think any of those went like this on turn 1. Interesting. Well, at least no D cards were played yet, so I still may get Decal and Distal on turn 2. 5-year plan is still out there, so maybe I can avoid some of those scorings because all of them look disgusting. Indo-Pakistani war is still a way to get back to fighting for Asian draw, because I don't think I will get anything more than a draw, especially with Vietnam revolts being defected. Fiddle will have to be played for ops, so I don't create a threat of CIA. Okay, so I take back the part with... Yeah, the part about D cards not being present is already out of the window. Of course, he's strategically rolling low in space. Makes sense. Okay, so what's left? Basically, Distal is left. Maybe socialists if he doesn't overprotect Italy, I guess. And that's basically it when it comes to good things that can happen to me in the early war. At least before the reshuffle. And the Indo-Pakistani war. So basically the only two cards he's missing is US, Japan and Distal to have like the dream hand. Which may just as well be in his hand. One or both of those. You never know. Blockade. And the goal, a perfect discard card. Okay, this hand is a bit better. However, it's still... the first turn was... I don't know, I'm not even angry about it at this point. It's like... I didn't expect anything else, but... I mean, I didn't have high expectations, but... This was like a caricature of a turn. It was like... If someone made it up, it would be too on the nose. People would laugh at how absurd this scenario is. It would never happen. Like everything to the letter. Vietnam defected, decal in space successfully after I failed with NORAD, Maiku with a 1 roll. Crazy. Okay, at least CIA is gone. Okay, he has 2 scorings. This is bad, because those scorings are good for him, of course. I guess the only saving grace is that Cambridge gave me some knowledge about his hand and I can get to Thailand. The problem is that if I break Thailand with Cambridge, he will just repair it with CIA. And what then? Then the best I can do, I guess, is to take it over with China, then he will get a coup and then I can destall maybe? Europe is indefensible. Eventing Suez doesn't even achieve much, especially with his point in Greece. But okay, I don't think with Indo-Pakistani war being absent, I don't think I can go for Pakistan or India. I don't think that's reasonable. So I'll just break Thailand anyway. At least this way I'm forcing him to forgo a coup to repair Thailand. I guess that forces me to use the China card, but sure, I guess I can do it. There is of course a danger in 5-year plan being played for an event, especially when he sees my hand. However, I suppose that if he had 5-year plan, he would have headlined it instead of the CIA, probably, because he had Asia and Europe scorings in hand, so the probability of me discarding a good scoring for him is not that high. I think that was a more reasonable headline, so I will just assume he doesn't have the 5-year plan. The perfect scenario for me would be if he didn't coup. If he could, I mean. But yeah, but that's kind of obvious that he has to take Thailand. It's kind of obvious that I have to retake it, especially knowing that he has Asia in hand. Yeah, but yeah, this is okay. This game is just a meme. It's just a joke. Not a very funny one, but still just a joke. No need to get mad. No way. He had that. He had that too. What the fuck? And he didn't even try. Oh man. Okay, sure. Okay, so I'm not getting Asia domination, of course not. I think it's a mistake to not use 5-year plan. Knowing my hand, 5-year plan might have been devastating. And it's surely not bad. Like, if you hit anything but captured Nazis, you're really happy. So, I don't respect this play. Okay, so of course I don't have a Milops source, I don't have Distal fuel. I guess I will use East Germany and Poland, which kind of sucks, but what am I gonna do? Okay, we have to overprotect that. Spread here. Take Zaire. some meal-ups. Can I get some meal-ups, please? Would be great. I guess if he had Orb Israeli or Korean, he would just space it. Okay, so my best shot at winning this game is probably focusing on South America to get a control there, and at least a domination in Africa, hoping the scorings come quickly. And then... Wait, really? This is... Why? This is like risky as hell and for no good reason. No way. Okay, so like... Yeah, okay, sure. This is... I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. This is incredible. I don't think... I haven't seen anything like that in some time at least. The most frustrating thing so far is that this was a really poor move. This was a really shitty move. The probability of him realigning me in both Venezuela and Brazil with a 3-op is like 0. But well, if it works, it works. Maybe I cannot play this game. Ugh. Yeah. He spaced it. He of course succeeded. He got the Middle East. Okay, his hand is not great, although he got the Indo-Pak War, which was something I really hoped for. East European unrest is surprisingly unhelpful. Nasser is fine. I think I have to headline Nasser. I would love to headline Socialists, but actually they don't achieve that much, especially with me being gone from Italy. So I'll just go for Nasser. If he wants to headline Middle East, I won't let him to... I won't let him score a free domination. Yeah, okay, so Nasser Nasser doesn't work either. Okay. No, actually, I have Arab Israeli War, my bad. Okay, so he has Middle East, Romanian, Indo-Pakistani and Formosan. Well, I would love to coup Panama here, but with Middle East scoring incoming, I think I have to try queuing Libya. Oh! That's shocking! Holy shit! A good roll. Alright, that's something I was waiting for this one, but it turns out I can roll big. So now the question is, do we want to go for Uruguay? Is there a point? I mean, there is of course a point, but there's also a price, which is he will get his mill-ups, which are... Well, I guess they are guaranteed for him in some way, because he has in the Pakistani war. But if I go to Uruguay, he will just coup Uruguay instead, and if he wins a coup with another wave of incredible bad luck on my part, he will just get Brazil and Venezuela, and it looks like South America is my main win con, if you wish. So maybe taking this risk is not that reasonable. Okay, interesting. This is untrue. So what he's talking about is I think he's talking about Arab-Israeli war. Yep. Well, at least he will learn something from this game. Technically, I could try holding on to socialists, and if I want to do that, maybe there is a point in putting one into Austria as well, because then I can play Truman and not lose all access to Italy. However, that would be highly suspicious, of course. Also, it's questionable, like, even more so, because East European unrest will be played by me this turn, because I got Warsaw, so I guess I will just go for that, and I will use East European unrest now. To probably break Iran, to set up for Muslim revolution profit in the future, if it comes. So, okay, he wanted to take the risk of losing the Middle East to Arab-Israeli war, but I kindly informed him that that he's safe from himself. Let's see if he goes for Iran. Yeah, he probably will. Reasonable. Sure, then taking Syria is not worth that much. Let's put another point into South Africa. Now he will drop the Middle East, perhaps. Unless he wants to get the Milops now, but that would be irresponsible. Alright. Let's take South Africa. I will try to play Socialist on AR5. I guess he will Indo-Pak now. Then I can Socialist, and then maybe I can use special No! What the hell? Why? Man! This is... Okay, sure, so... Okay, I don't know if using Socialists now makes sense. Well, maybe it still does, but... Okay, so... Europe is... no longer worth fighting for, at least... for a longer while. I will try to kind of bait him with Truman gone, giving him additional overprotection in France with Suez and De Gaulle still being in the game is not something I wanna do. Shit. The only good part about Nasser being defected is that now I can easily play Junta in my headline phase if I get it. So I guess I will just pray for Junta. However, I am not... my hopes are not high. Oh, okay, he was vigilant. He knew. Okay, so I will give him special regardless. Now, the question is, can I do something nasty so that he's discouraged from playing in the Pakistani war? The most obvious play would be to break Pakistan, but if he plays in the Pakistani war to Pakistan and wins it in response, that will just be disgusting. So I guess I will I guess I will set up a domination in Vietnam and go to Malaysia to threaten Indonesia, maybe. And if he wants to respond to that by playing Indo-Pak anyway, then he's free to. It's not a great idea, but it's probably the best one that's not involving entering non-battleground states, which would just grant him a free coup target for his 2-op that he has in hand. Having that said, he will probably just event it into India anyway and see if he wins. If he does, then he's at 15 already, as the USA, by the way. So I think he should just give it a try regardless of my moves. He knows I don't have Asia scoring. Really? Wait, oh, he has Korean war in hand as well. Interesting. Okay, Allende is useless, Lone Gunman is disgusting. NORAD, Bird Trap and nuclear subs are all annoying, however at least I got nuclear subs and not him. Salt negotiations is maybe promising, however I would have to have something useful to pick up, and I don't. Cultural is fine, but nothing special. Martial is probably playable and it's good missile envy target. Brush is weird. I don't really have good brush targets, but if he gets to Venezuela and Brazil somehow, then I will have some targets. And maybe I can even use it twice if it comes to it. However, I would prefer to not have to use it. No good headlines, not really. Unless you count Lone Gunman as one, but I don't. It's really important for me to keep it in the deck, because it looks like I may have some trouble winning this game otherwise. Probably Allende is just the best card here, which is really shitty because it doesn't achieve much, but I just don't have good headlines. I think I will play the China card this turn. Space ones. Maybe event cultural, however I doubt it, but maybe. Sure, let's just start with Allende. Okay, the only good thing about that is that I can coup. So it's terrible for me, but it's not as bad as Junta would have been. So, because now it kind of depends on the rolls, because if I roll well, then I can take Venezuela or Brazil, depending on which one I coup, and then I can brush another one. But this scenario assumes that I will coup successfully and then brush war successfully, which probably will not happen, but who knows, maybe. Okay, the question is, what do I coup with? And it's a tricky one. Okay, so I need at least a 3-op to do that, that's for sure. It's also clear to me that I will... Okay, maybe that's not that clear. I don't want to use the China card, it's really important for me, because I may want to play it in Asia. So, I guess the most reasonable response is just giving him Marshall Plan and just going with it. And it was a great missile envy target. I mean, not a great one, but it wasn't that painful if that happened. However, I can still give him NORAD, so it's acceptable. Okay, sure, let's go to Venezuela. Okay, that worked. Nuclear test ban redrawn. Yeah, no need to wait. Let's just take that. Okay. My rolls improved since that 1 with Duck and then 4 with Norad to space. That's good to hear. Now I guess my main goal is to survive till the South America scoring comes. The question is, do I want to pick up the brush war? And I don't think so. However, like, there is one really good target for it, which is of course Panama. And if I do that, then maybe I can give him nuclear subs. Are there any dangers? Don't think so. He doesn't have... I mean, I guess the worst he can do is cool Laos, which is not really that interesting. The curious thing is that when he uses in the Pakistani war, then at DEFCON 4 I will be able to coup Pakistan with China, potentially. This makes sense, of course. He once again needs his mill-ups, but since we know he can get them, I guess the best I can do is to try fighting for Africa. This Cameroon needs to go. I need to overprotect Zaire and Nigeria or coup this, but since I need to get rid of the lone gunman, I can't coup it. Like, because anything with lone gunman coup, it's a really useful move because anything but one gets rid of that, and I get Africa domination. But since I rolled A1 and he, of course, had Africa scoring, then that was not really a successful play. However, I still believe it was correct. It just it just didn't work out because it was cursed. But that's not anything I have influence, and I don't have influence over that. Okay, I can't control that, and I can't control that either. So that sucks. I'm waiting for him to use in the Pakistani war, because when he has his mill-ups ready, then giving him opportunities to coup, for example with salt, will be like a lesser cost for me. However, he's really reluctant to do that. I don't think I'm missing anything, right? In the Pakistani war didn't appear yet, so he still has it. He's holding it. He didn't use it last turn for some reason, and he's still not using it. I guess that may be connected to the fact that he also doesn't want to overprotect Pakistan, so it kind of looks like he's maybe baiting me to put my China influence into Pakistan, and if that doesn't... And if that happens, he's just waiting with the Pakistani war to roll some dice, which I guess has been working out for him really well so far, so can't blame him for that. Yeah, he had Korean, we knew that. He somehow failed the space roll. Nice. Is this reasonable? Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have kept No, I don't think it was a mistake. Sure. What I am referring to is my decision to hold Marshall Plan instead of Indo-Pakistan, instead of US-Japan Defense Pact. So if I kept the US-Japan card, then I would at least be certain that he doesn't have it. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be able to play it freely like I did with the Marshall Plan, because Marshall Plan is less painful for me than giving him Japan. Now I decided to use the China card because I want to try to equalize Asia at least, because it's one of the three unscored regions, and the only one of them where I can do anything. And also, if he's busy fighting for Korea with me, he doesn't have time to get his mill-ups, so I will try to take advantage of that. Okay, this is fine. I think I'm okay with just using cultural for this. If I end up using cultural and salt, but I get Korea and he doesn't get mill-ups, that's fine. If he does get mill-ups at the end of this turn but gives up Asia, that's still fine. So now this is one play, the second one is doing the same but with NORAD. But I don't think I'm going to give him NORAD though. No, not that. Warsaw Pact is gone, so I cannot really fuck around in the Eastern Europe as much as I would like to. Now he probably should event, yeah, in the Pakistani war. Okay. Okay, this is a solid hand. Missile Envy would be really painful if it took Muslim. If it took NORAD, it wouldn't be at all. So there is just a one clear, obvious headline that I will go with. There is nothing to deliberate on. Especially with my Iran setup. Muslim here is solid. With Nasser being in the discard pile. Egypt is still up for grabs, so I guess I could play for it. If I force him to use Sadat without the efficiency it usually gets, that will be a success. Colonials are, of course, pretty annoying. I have Decol, which is kind of a response to that. Okay, now we have a decision to make. Let's plan this turn because it looks like an important moment in this game, I think. So the choice is between queuing and playing for ups and eventing Decol. If I event Decol, I can secure Thailand, Indonesia, and 2 battlegrounds in Africa. Then he will coup 1 battleground in Africa. I will still dominate Africa. I will not have mill-ups, but I will be able to get them in Cameroon, for example. And I can get Indonesia from that. And he won't get Thailand. So that's good. Also, with UN intervention played with Usuri, I will be able to take Egypt, which is not very important, but it's potentially good, especially with OPEC being in the game. If I coup Panama, then that's risky because I may just fail. It's like 50-50 basically. A little bit more than that, but... And then he just gets... Well, then he gets Africa battlegrounds, 2 instead of 1, then he dominates Africa. And then I get to Decol. He probably wants to set up a realignment there. Okay, so what are... Well, he will get mid-ops probably after Che, but if I get to use Che efficiently, that's good enough. How bad is it if he takes Thailand? If he takes Thailand, it's probably bad. I mean, if I, like, coup Panama and if I coup Panama, does he take the battlegrounds in Africa or does he take Thailand with China? If he takes Thailand with China, then decall is a really good play. It's really efficient, but at the end of the day, he keeps Thailand. And that gives him probably a long-term domination in Asia and a 4 VP swing in Southeast Asia scoring. That's not good. Okay, it looks to me like Thailand is really crucial here, so I will use decall to overprotect it, grab that and break Indonesia. However, I think this is probably the most interesting moment in the game, at least so far. I think here there are a couple of moves that are at least decent and require some deliberation. It's also interesting what happens if he decides to coup, but for example he goes Brazil or Argentina, because that's very much possible. This is interesting because first of all the impact is so much higher if he succeeds, but the chance of him failing are also bigger. Ah, he didn't go for that, I understand it completely. I understand it completely, however, that kind of smells like he has Kennedy and South America. It's not necessarily true, though. I will keep NORAD to still be protected from I'm sorry, from Miss Lenvy. And I think I will ignore Egypt, despite what I said earlier. I now think that overprotecting Koreas is crucial, because he has the China card, which means he decides what we do in Asia, and I cannot really afford losing any of those. If he wants to spend ops flipping Zaire or taking Egypt before Sadat and Nasser come, then he's free to. I don't think I have to hurry with any of that, and I think it's reasonable to hurry with Koreas, especially with there being a possibility of him having Nixon, which would... Yeah, hello? Uh-huh. Which would really encourage him to play China. Formosan is on the discard pile, so this looks like he has Nixon and wants to play it efficiently, which is fine. Okay, so Panama Canal is now a great card to play, and I will play it to Zaire. Probably not. I will play it to Brazil to overprotect everything. Or actually, if he wants to break it, let him break it. I will play it to Colombia. If he wants to coup Colombia, he's free to. If he coups Colombia, then Che becomes really, really strong. ABM and Junta are still in the game. I probably want to give him NORAD and Event Quagmire, and I will have to do all that during this turn. So I bet that I'm going to space nuclear subs when I have my next opportunity to do that. Because I probably want to quack him during my last AR, and if I do that, then I would have to give him nuclear subs early on. Okay, that's annoying. Space that. Okay, he started failing some space rolls. That's a nice thing to see. Okay, so my two moves are Norad for ups and Che for event. I could start with Che for event. Okay, Che for event is not really strong now, but I think it's an obligation. So I think I will be more comfortable using it immediately, so that I know that I have my Millops secured. He didn't fall for the Columbia bait, it was smart of him. Please don't take Quag. Interesting turn of events, okay. Oh, okay, that was useful actually. I will not cry over him not giving me flower power, especially with all the relevant wars gone. Literally all of them actually. I will skip a turn, of course, happens. Oh, scorings? He risked so much! If he withdrew a scoring with that, holy shit! What? Oh, this is all just a huge gamble. Why? Oh man. Sure. Well, it worked for him, so. And like, holy shit! If he stayed in that quagmire, he would have been destroyed. Wow. This was. Those are some incredible plays over here. Holy shit. Yeah, he is a fucking crazy man. I agree. I agree with that one. Oh man. Okay, at least my hands improved significantly since the first one. This is a really good one. I'm afraid I may get purged, which would be terrible. However, it is still workable. Right. So Missile Envy is a great card here. That's my main issue. Because I would love to headline ABM to have a shot at Pakistan. That's my main goal. I think I'm gonna go for it anyway. If he purges me, I cannot do anything about that. I just have to suffer. However, ABM is still good. It still achieves something, even under purge, if I roll well. It's probably the best card he could get with grain sales if he headlines grain sales. And I can play Missile Envy mid-turn, so I don't care about it. Sure, let's go ABM. Ah, grain sales this. Hopefully he doesn't get Junta. Let's try Pakistan. Nope. How I learned. It's okay-ish. Not crazy good, but not Junta. Probably, yeah, it's still better than voice. Yeah, it's good. It's fine. Okay, so he decided to take Zaire, which is understandable. However, it gives me Pakistan. There are several good 4-ups I may get using Missile Envy. But I will not risk anything silly happening, so I'll just take Pakistan with Portuguese. Okay, now Asia is actually good for me, which was... I didn't expect that to happen this game, but it did. The worst thing I could get with Miss Envy would be like a weak free-up like U2 or Cuban. But there are also NATO Purge and US Japan, which are all very useful. Also, him taking Japan manually is sus. I think I wanna play Miss Envy and see what he has inside. Like, this is especially useful because if he really have a 4-up, like US, Japan or NATO, which is probable, then I can just break India by force, and he cannot immediately retake it with Miss Envy, so this will lead to me getting something out of Asia in some way. The details may vary, but if I get US Japan with this, I'm not like letting him off the hook easily. Yep. Really good hit. Okay, a handful of 2-ups. I'm not equipped to fight for India here, but I am well equipped to drop Asia for 5 VPs. So hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so now of course the space race is relevant. He now faces a choice. Whoa, really? He plays a red 2-up, but he does that only to give it to me. And he doesn't go into Mexico, but he goes into Cuba. Holy moly. Interesting. I think that's a mistake. Well, okay, so... sure, I know what I said about the space race, but... okay, now my realignments are setting in as well. Okay. I cannot complain about the mid-war cards. And most of the mid-war rolls too, to be fair. Oh, he had Japan too. Okay. Takes that, he plays into that, that's fine, and now I can space... oh my god, no, please. Okay, no one saw that. I'm giving out free intel for my Rats tournament opponent. Not a reasonable way to go around with it. Yeah, indeed it is. Okay, since we still don't know where the Sadat card is, I will just do something like this to not lose any ground. This is for sure. I wonder if Pakistan is not a better target than Brazil. I think it may be. Yeah, it's reasonable. Couldn't overprotect everything, he took advantage of that, of course. Oh, he did that without Fidel. Really? That's this whole game, man. This is some interesting choice of strategy. And there is no reshuffle. The reshuffle will happen after he events our man in Tehran. Which is interesting, because I would love for some cards to go back into the deck before he does that. Oh man, I'm facing so many interesting choices this game. I would normally go for Purge headline with a hand like this, with Liberation and Fidel being the obvious alternatives. But now I think the most reasonable headline for me is OPEC, honestly. So okay, like he has 9 cards, I know, and there are 10 cards he may have. So there's like 90% chance. Okay, there's exactly 90% chance that he has our man in Tehran, at least a priori. Looking at his hand, the most notable headlines are Containment and Duck. But also Nixon. There's Sadat too. He has a lot of alternatives. I think with this hand, Containment is obvious. And the Duck is a great headline basically every time. So maybe it's not that bad if he headlines Omid before OPEC. Maybe I can live with it. I think I can live with it. I think I can. Maybe I should just go for Liberation Theology then. Maybe I should go for Liberation Theology and just take Panama with Ops, with Purge. Purge is not that good when I think about it, because he has a really blue hand. He doesn't care about events. I mean about Ops. Yeah, sure, okay. After reconsidering that, I think I will go for it. He has Containment and Duck to play. I will not play around our man in Tehran headline. Let's just grab it. Surprisingly enough, with Containment being in play, now Purge was more valuable, because it kind of moves him back, because his whole hand basically benefits from Containment, maybe with exception of Southeast Asia scoring. But if Containment wasn't in play, then Sadat and Summit are not really affected by the Purge itself, and then Nixon, our man in Tehran, and other cards like Shuttle, the Deck and Cover can just be played as events, and he can easily navigate through Purge. Okay, Shuttle it is, that's a 4-up coup. Ooh, he failed. Let's try that. Yeah, that's painful, I agree. He takes that. He took the bait. He shouldn't have. He should know I have Fidel. I mean, he knows that for with 90% certainty again, which I think should be enough. I don't think that was a correct play. Oh, he knew that. Why didn't he then play around it? Okay, I don't think he's tracking cards, because he should know that I can respond to this easily. He almost knows my hand, so him playing like that indicates that he may not be tracking cards. And this is a huge deal. Now he basically has to realign Mexico and then Cuba if he succeeds. I think. He should have done that with duck and cover already. Okay. This is fine. I will overprotect Poland because now... Or, you know what? Maybe I will let him have it. I will just get Central, I will get OPEC, and I will coup something with Suez Crisis to get the mill-ups. Because... maybe. Overprotecting Poland is tricky. Suez Crisis is also a good event. Okay, I have a lot of things to do now when I think about it. I think I will give up on 2 mill-ups. I think I will give up on them. I will try to retake Cuba, but without overprotection, and I will just overprotect Poland. Just to be a bit safer against Chernobyl. And solidarity. Now, if he does something with Central, I will just drop it. And then I will event OPEC. And I will be safely within... well, maybe not that safely, but I think I will be within the War Games reach. Okay, he used Nixon to do that, that's fine. I'm glad he lost Nixon this way. Let's get 5. Yeah. And let's get 5 more. We'll have to give 2 of those back, unfortunately, but that's okay. And probably Brezhnev. Yeah. Alright. Well, Africa is still scored, so now a lot depends on war games basically and little sources of VPs. No war games, however, Reformer is a great card to see. It basically ensures that I do not lose in a silly way by Europe control. And also it's a great response to Solidarity, to tear down this wall, to Chernobyl, all that. So, since the factors are in the discard pile, the Reformer is the way to go. He has Sadat or Cambridge. Yeah. Turn down. Hello there. And what's your play? Do we quiz Germany? Do we coup at all? That's a question as well. Or do you try crazy fucking realignments? Nope, he just goes for a coup. Okay, since the map is slightly favorable towards me, I think just going for some annoying, harmless place in Europe is a pretty solid way to make use of this poor hand. The less time we waste doing nothing in Europe, the more stagnant the board gets, and that means the less time he will have to fix the map to flip this game. Status quo favors me, so I don't need to worry about that. Also, it's important to note that I got Cambridge, which means that he has Sadat in his hand. An important note. Terrorism doesn't look bad here. There are currently no good scorings that I could discard with it. And it forces him to decide on Sadat, so that's good. There are a couple of really strong cards he may have, so getting rid of those is good too. The only thing that's kind of giving me a pause here is that I don't see Iranian hostage crisis, and when I play terrorism, it becomes a free event, and right now it's still not. Okay, I'm glad he failed, but that means I can just grab France, so I will. Again, I don't need to take any risks. I don't want to make any random plays. I can just put ops into countries that I have opened. Now he needs to take... Just kidding, he doesn't need to do anything. I'm not going to tell him what to do. He's an independent player. I could counter that with Marine, barracks bombing, but I think I could just as well go further into Europe. He needs to react at some point, right? Evil Empire, okay. Alright, so now I can respond to that. Okay, solidarity is not a problem. I'm kind of glad he played it openly like that and didn't wait with it to jump scare me out of nowhere. I would really love him to play Iranian hostage crisis now. However, that probably won't happen. I guess if that doesn't happen, I will just use terrorism to coup. Zimbabwe is a good target. Pershing. Pershing is convenient. I can break that, overprotect France and break... Or maybe not break. Maybe I can just do this. Sure, let's do this instead. Okay, he just fixes it, so now let's get mill-ups. He'll probably just coup back Zimbabwe, I assume. Oh, with Sadat. Really? Okay, he looks like he has some problems with hand management, so I don't really care about giving him additional turn. He may have Aldrich aims and Iron Contra or something like that, in which case that would actually be useful to him. You know what, actually, let's just realign Zaire, I think. It's probably worth more than just going for Egypt. I'm winning in the Middle East anyway. So yeah, if he has like Iron Contra Scandal and Aldrich aims or something like that, this will help him, but that's not very significant. I will live with it. I will get a little bit scared if he breaks Europe now, but... Aldrich James, who would have thought? In South America, okay. Glasnost, reasonable. Didn't make a difference. War Games is here, as are all the good cards in the game. Well, I will take that. He has Chernobyl, but with under Purge he's not gonna be able to do anything with it, so let's just purge him. If he uses Chernobyl, I will just ignore it. There's little he can do. I also got Salt in case he discarded War Games somehow. Absurd hand. And I have like infinite cards. I could play China, get it back with Cultural, then pick something up with Salt and play that as well. I suspect he may go... Oh, you know what's really interesting? Maybe I should have evented Cultural, which is counterintuitive. But his headline is basically going to be Soviets shoot down Call. Like, probably. If it's not Chernobyl, it's that. So that means he will lower the DEFCON himself and go to 6 VPs of advantage for me, which is not enough for War Games to work. So maybe I should have just played Cultural for 1 VP. However, that's just assuming he headlines Soviets shoot down Call. He may go for Chernobyl because he doesn't know I have Purge. But I don't think he can do that. I think he has to go for Soviets shoot down Call, because he knows I have War Games. So unless he has another independent source of VPs, which is possible but not guaranteed, the only possible play is Soviets shoot down Call. Unless he's like... unless he's hoping for the space track VPs, but I think this is insanity. Yep, it's my bad. Okay, so if I can get Millops somehow right now, for example by playing cultural, I don't need to worry about queuing. Maybe this is the play actually, maybe I should just event cultural. The problem is like, this may kill me, but probably not. Like, no, come on, the chances of this killing me are like almost zero. With me having with me having salt, I think it's like 0. I don't think there's a scenario that kills me. Literally any. Like, there's nothing. Okay, there is one. He would need to have terrorism now to discard salt. A source of VPs to prevent me from playing war games. And next turn I would have to get like grain sales and duck and cover, and he would have to take China from me with usury and discard me one card, but not the Defcon ones, with like 5-year plan if he used terrorism this turn. This is like absurd. Okay, there's basically no way. I think this is the play. Because this is an auto win if he doesn't have a source of VPs, unless he immediately spaces now, which is fine if he wants to try that. And I think getting a VP like this is fine. If he gets a VP or spaces successfully now, I will just coup. Okay, I will coup anyway. With Suez, I suppose. Oh wait, no, he lowered the defcon himself. Okay, so I don't even have to do that. Yeah, GG. Yeah, GG. After the mid-war happened, it was a really tough game. Yeah. After... really bad. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this game. I will see you next time.